Alright, time to watch Suicide Squad. How good could it be? So the Suicide Squad is finally out in theaters and on HBO Max, and I got to check it out on Thursday, and since then, I've already rewatched it before doing this video. In this video, I am going to be talking about spoilers. So, if you've not seen the movie, or you're worried about spoilers, click away and come back. I definitely was not expecting what I was going to see when watching this movie, but in my out-of-theater reaction video, I did state before going in to watch it that as someone that was able to find enjoyment with the 2016 version, I had a feeling that because of James Gunn's previous work and just the general excitement building up to this movie and the hype around this movie that I was able to accumulate from the trailers, from the posters, from the interviews that the cast did, I had a feeling that I was able to enjoy this movie no matter what. The bulk of this video is going to be me running through a whole bunch of things that I completely loved about this movie, and I'm not going to be able to touch on everything. That will be for the Only Film Fans podcast, where me, Jared, and Brad will be talking in depth about this movie and the DCEU in general. That video and podcast format will be coming out on August 15th, so next Sunday. Let's kick off with the banter between Bloodsport and John Cena's Peacemaker. The two of them together kind of had a who's better macho-ism going on back and forth. There was specifically a scene in the jungle where they're trying to one-up each other with their kills. That alone, seeing all those kills, them trying to one-up each other, was just great. And it continues like that throughout the rest of the movie, of them just trying to one-up each other until it comes to a standstill at the end of the movie. John Cena, he's become more and more popular in the movie realm the last couple years, being in Blockers, F9, stuff like that. But he's never actually given like a worthy performance that's like super memorable. And in this movie, I think that he does give a memorable performance as Peacemaker. James Gunn was able to tune in to what works with John Cena's abilities to act, kind of like what he did with Dave Bautista in Guardians of the Galaxy. So John Cena's not going to get any award nominations for anything like that. He doesn't need to get anything like that. But for this role, it was very entertaining the way he played the character. And it made me actually pretty excited for January, because the Peacemaker TV show is coming in January. Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you. I do have like a weird soft spot for Harley Quinn. One, she's played by Margot Robbie, who's just crazy beautiful. And two, just that crazy character that she plays is just really intriguing to me. But something I was glad that they didn't do was make the focus solely on Harley Quinn. You know, last year, I think it was, yeah, Birds of Prey, she had her own solo run with that. So I'm glad that they truly said, no, this is an ensemble film, and each member kind of had like their own little time to shine. The start of the movie opened exactly how I thought it was going to open, with half of the members you see in the trailer dying. It kind of reminded me of X-Force from Deadpool 2, where all the characters were featured in the trailers and then one by one they get killed off. It was kind of very similar to that, but it worked. I really liked it. It was funny, but it was expected. I expected it. You know, the trailers didn't show any of those characters in the later scenes, so it was kind of inevitable that they were going to die. Along with how it opens, we also see Amanda Waller jump straight into the premise of the movie. It didn't have to spend half an hour like in 2016 explaining Amanda Waller's big plan. She grabbed a couple members for the Suicide Squad and said, here's a mission, go. We didn't have to spend a whole lot of time figuring out why she needs this team to do these undercover rogue missions. So that was also great that it was able to jump right into the action. I've seen some people complaining online about the language and violence of this movie, but honestly, with a movie titled Suicide Squad, I really don't know what more someone could expect from it. But not only was the violence and action amped up to 11 in this movie, but the way the director is able to blend in humor and emotion with these characters to really let them breathe and connect with the audience. Polka Dot Man, a villain that shoots polka dots at people. That is truly and absurdly a stupid idea and concept for a villain. But I can't lie to you if I didn't tell you that Polka Dot Man ended up being my favorite person in this whole movie. He was great. I was actually really sad with what happens at the end of the movie to him. Since I'm talking about Polka Dot Man right now, definitely the funniest running joke of this movie was about Polka Dot Man's mom. I was also able to have some emotional depth for a character I never in a million years thought I would ever care about, that being Ratcatcher 2. I, as well as Bloodsport, hate rats. And quick side note, I worked at a pet store years ago and quit after 3 days because they wanted me to clean the rat room. I hate rats, but somehow during this movie, I was able to feel fear for Ratcatcher and emotion for her, and even Lil Sebastian too. So bringing back Rick Flag, I honestly thought would be kind of like a wasted character and wasted screen time that could have been used by someone else. But Rick Flag 2.0, because he's vastly different than he was in the 2016 one. Rick Flag 2.0 was much better, and he felt more in line with the Suicide Squad team. Just the chemistry of them all together worked a lot better. And for a second, I really did think that they were going to try and set up a romantic connection between Flag and Harley, which upon further thinking of the idea, I didn't necessarily hate, but seeing him die at the hands of Peacemaker was not only a great fight, but a heart-stopping scene for me. The side love story with Harley Quinn when she's by herself, I can't even remember the character's name, but he's like a foreign president or leader or something like that, and they spend a couple minutes with Harley Quinn and him doing a day date and ultimately her killing him. So I don't know, upon second viewing, I don't know if that really had to be in there or it was necessary. If they needed a plot device to get Harley away from the team and then get captured and then escape and get back with the team, I'm sure there's a couple other ways you could have done it. But yeah, upon second viewing, that scene and those scenes actually just kind of were meh to me. But all in all, it's a great movie. And if that's the worst thing about the movie that I can think of, then it's still a damn fine movie. I do want to keep this video relatively short. There is a lot to talk about, but I think that on the podcast that I told you about earlier, the Only Film Fans podcast, next week when the episode comes out of me, Jared, and Brad doing a full in-depth discussion of it, and I'll be able to have two other people to banter back and forth with about this movie. You know, I didn't get to talk about Starro, I didn't get to talk about The Thinker, or even King Shark. I know a lot of people, King Shark is their favorite leading out of that, so that's another topic to talk about. But that's all going to be for the podcast coming out on 8/15, and you can find that podcast on all podcast platforms and the video version on YouTube. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. What did you think about it? Did you get a chance to check it out? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. I really appreciate it. And before we go, all my life, all I've ever wanted to be was a gangster.
Snarare det är också